spawning in the bottom left position as our red Terran player went for, well, I mean, I guess both players went for pretty greedy builds last game, but great multi-prong harass and overall decision making. He's not in the team right now, but he is alive. And spawning in the top right position as our yellow Zerg playing for Team Karante Esports Club, it is VortiX. So, on this map, TvZ, this is a good mech map, I would say. You got a fast 3 bases, easy to secure, but then again, it's also good for bio in that aspect. There's a lot of paths here. You have these banana hallways you can run through, try to do a little bit of a harass on bases. Not as easy to scout by holding the middle tower, although, of course, this middle tower is incredibly important for spotting big pushes coming your way. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to have to see. We have a pretty early spawning pool out of VortiX, though, and this is going to be interesting. I think he's anticipating a command center first, or possibly a 2-Rax and aLive. This is known in the Korean scene as the 2-Rax map, and aLive is going to throw down these 2-Rax, and I think this should favor VortiX. This is not something I've ever actually casted before. This is a very weird game. Now, keep in mind, if aLive wins this, he wins this best of 5, and it's going to go straight into our next series. So, the VortiX needs to hold this off. This is it. He's on his last leg, being down 2-1. He had his chance on Arkanoid, but he needs to hold his cheese off if he wants to stay in this series. And here this drone scout is going. He's scouting middle, across middle first. He's going to spawn. Oh my goodness, he barely spots the barracks. He sees it, and he opened with the early pool. This is exactly what VortiX wanted. He said, okay, I can just send Zerglings, kill your Marines, and then just kill you if I want to. There are a ton of Zerglings on the field. He already has 6. He's making 4 more. And I think aLive may have just got a build order loss here, and we could see a quick 2-2. The SCVs won't be here to protect these Marines, and he's going to get caught. Ouch. Oh my goodness, these Zerglings, they've got him. He's done. he's done. He's going to try to build up this wall very quickly, and he will be able to, but I mean, if he shuts down the barracks production, he's going to shut down the Marines. Oh, actually, the Marines are in a pretty decent position. He's kind of pocketed them into this nice little choke point. But the Zerglings might, if they can break through this could be disastrous for aLive. He's killed the SCV building the supply depots. He has Zerglings parked on these barracks. He should, I don't know, this is such an interesting position to be in because he could try to go for an expansion or just pump out drones. He's going to expand. I think that's a good idea. As a Zerg player, just try to get on that 2 bases. And these SCVs, they're repairing, but he's losing quite a bit of resources being spent on fixing this. And these Zerglings are doing their best to kill these Marines, stutter stepping them backwards, and he brings on the Zerglings that are attacking the main base. Actually, so he can kill these. And I like this. This is very weird. This doesn't happen every day, children. Certainly not. In high-level games like this is a very awkward situation. But I guess, you know, you can kind of metagame what's going to happen on this map. A lot of Terran players do favor the 2-Rax. He knows that aLive is, of course, willing to go for the 2-Rax. VortiX did lose to the 2-Rax to start this series off, keep in mind. So he was possibly anticipating something like this. And, you know, Korean players' 2-Raxes are pretty strong. He's going to start his command center, though, and I think this game's going to pretty much normalize. He didn't really kill any SCVs of aLive, and no drones were really killed, and he made so many Zerglings to try to attack that. I'm not sure any player has a huge lead, but this game could still go either way. So, Marine production continuing. He's going to get a Spine Crawler, try to hold off any kind of follow-up aggression, which is fine. And the standard Terran follow-up to a 2-Rax that doesn't kill anyone is you just get, boom, 2 additional command centers, and suddenly you're even in economy. And we're going to have gas taken by VortiX. Maybe he's anticipating this. Maybe he's saying, okay, I want to go for this fast lair. I want to do something to just kill him, because I know he can only have Marines because he's a greedy Terran player. We're going to have to see. The barracks are floating on home now. Double gas being taken by aLive in that main base. The natural command center is not done just yet, but I'm curious if VortiX is just going to go for a fast lair or something, and he's getting the second Spine Crawler, and that's making me think he is going to go for tech, because he wants to be able to Mostly he just wants to be able to hold his own against any early pressure and get some tech or something behind this. He's about to hit 100 gas. We should see a lair start. He doesn't have anything else. He could get Zergling speed, but with this much gas being mined, he's going to get Zergling speed. Maybe he's going to move into a quick lair after this. These Marines are going to come over here to the 9. He's actually going to, oh, he's going to supply block VortiX. That sucks. The SCV's going to run in. He's going to say, okay, you've got 2 spine crawlers. I feel like this kind of opening against Terran, from the Terran player's perspective, it's got to be some kind of 2-base play because you got spine crawlers. Otherwise, you get a bunch of queens and try to hold pressure off that way. But we do have that lair. No, did he cancel it? He canceled his lair. It was just in the production tab. He's going to go double illusion chamber instead and probably just try to take a 3rd base. I think VortiX is actually going to fall really behind because of this. He's not able to secure any kind of lead, and the triple orbital command is on the way. And aLive has Marines parked outside this base. Without any real number of Zerglings, VortiX can't really take his 3rd. aLive's going to move his Marines back now. I think he should park a Marine on that 3rd base, though. Creep spread isn't in position to defend the 3rd. So I don't know. This is a very interesting position. Now the lair is going again. 1-1 is on the way, as well as Zergling speed. But 3 orbitals, so much SCV production. Looking at the workers tab, though, he's still down about 10. VortiX has been pumping out a lot of drones, but he's not going to be able to split those across 3 bases yet, and he also doesn't have the mules. So when we look at the income tab, he's only barely ahead. And I think that's also because aLive, maybe he could spread his workers out a bit more. He has a lot of SCVs building things rather than mining. So VortiX isn't in a terrible position, but I feel like this is something that can snowball for aLive, that he was able, even though his 2 racks didn't do too much, he did force out a lot of lings. He did switch up to the 3 command center build, and he's by all intents and purposes, completely unaffected by the start of this game. The only thing that would have hurt him would have been a huge Baneling bust, but even then, a barracks wall, not quite so penetrable. These Zerglings are at the 3rd, possibly just going to prevent him from trying to land it. But this is getting interesting now. The 3rd base is about halfway complete for VortiX. Moving the queen around, spraying the creep, and now he's pretty safe to take this 3rd, because of course the queens can easily go and defend now with the creep spread. The Zerglings are trying to keep him honest, just saying, okay, what's here? Let me step up. Big barracks wall. Alright, so what does VortiX know? Okay, well this looks like bioplay, right? He also saw the tech lab, so that means it's definitely bioplay, researching that upgrade. So, not going to pull any kind of Marine King, 4 racks into mech shenanigans. And we have that lair done, so I'm curious what he's going to go for tech-wise. If it's going to be... It will be Infestors, so he's getting that Infestation. But I'm also wondering if he wants to go for the really fast Hive again. It seems to be the kind of style that VortiX favors. This is actually... It's actually more of a style that we've seen going away a little bit. In all honesty, in the Korean Zerg scene, we've seen a lot more Mutalisk play. We've seen a lot more really heavy Baneling aggression, and not so much the Turtle on 3 bases, take it forth while going to Hive. But that seems to be what VortiX has still been working on the majority of these games. He's getting his Pathogen Glands, he's getting his Zergling upgrades. He's not really being terribly aggressive. He's poking in and out with a small pack of Zerglings, but he's not committing anything. No Baneling run-bys or anything of that sort. So 6 Infestors on the way. At this point now, I wouldn't be surprised if he started a Hive. There's really no tank production going at all for aLive just yet. He's about to start his first tank and siege, but this is the kind of build that a 2-2 timing for Zerg would really, really punish. But there we go. There's that Hive and that Spire. So VortiX is, he's showing the same hand basically of this really fast Hive play. aLive had a bit of trouble with it in the 2nd game on Whirlwind, but oh no, these Zerglings are going to get a bit of a surround on these Marines. There's a bunch to back them up though. The Zerglings, they're actually even on upgrades, but that, oh my goodness, was that armory late? No, the armory is there. He just hasn't. This is actually the 2nd game that this has happened. This reminds me of the game on Whirlwind where he had the armory and the engineering base. It didn't start those upgrades, and now we have a tiny bit of a lead for VortiX here. It's not really a necessary lead, in all honesty. Marines are pushing forward onto the creep. There's no medevacs to back these up, so I feel like if the Zerglings can get in and the Infestors can get some fungals off, this Bioforce will incinerate, will evaporate, just be gone. Zerglings pushing forward now. He's holding the tower, and this 4th base might be denied by aLive. Ooh, fungal growth goes down. But, there was no actual cancel on that hatchery, so not bad. That's a 300 mineral loss. He traded for about 6 Marines that had no health, which is almost about the same cost anyway. So, Maybe a little bit less since he didn't have the drone or any hit points. But he's going to rebuild that 4th base now, and that hive's complete. The spire's complete. Greater spire on the way. And VortiX, we're not seeing that harass that we saw at aLive the first game. He's pressuring forward, sure, but he hasn't done any economic damage. And I have to say, though, there's been really no harass brought to aLive. He's been able to comfortably do whatever he wants, mining away. His saturation looks stellar. Nothing really phasing him. And now he's getting into that mode. He's like, okay, now I've macroed. Now it's time to get aggressive. But there are spines in position from VortiX already. He's beginning to move the Zerglings forward. He says, okay, you're not going to get in here. There are spines covering every inch of the edge of this right side of the map, at least. There's a bit of an opening here at the 3rd. The 4th base not quite secure. The 5th base has started. This medevac does spot it, so these Marines should be able to mop this up. Tries to stop some creep spread, but 1 Marine versus the Queen. This hero will perish. The drop's not able to do too much, so VortiX have been shutting down a little bit better. This expansion will most likely get canceled, though, before the Zerglings can run in and kill this forest there because the cancel down. Throws the Infested Terrans, gets the fungal growth. Excellent catch there by VortiX. A little bit harder to hit those fungals now with the range decrease on the upgrade. Now he's going to move these Marines in. The creep is still spreading. He's moving Marines forward onto the creep, but it's still spreading. He is not doing a great job of stopping this. Now throwing down a scan, but there's still active tumors on the other side. This little patch might dwindle a tiny bit, but he needs to get these tumors for it to be cost effective, and no, he does not. And then, well, the creep's going to continue to spread. There goes the scan finally. Should be able to take out this one, which will also stop that one. So now he's pushing the creep back a little bit, but he has a long way to go if he wants to make a push across this map, especially since Broodlords are now on the field. Fourth base denied by a Zergling. The Zergling perished. And here we have it, guys. It's going to be a good number of Broodlords here. We have about 7 of them ready to just push forward. There are no Vikings for aLive, but I feel like his army might be big enough to punch through this. Although we do have Queens here to transfuse. We have Infestors for fungal. He's making more Corruptors, but here we go. The Broodlords beginning to push into these tanks. There's a good number of Marauders that can actually tank damage, but the Marine count, I'm not sure he has enough to just run up and snipe these, especially with the Zerglings. I would like to see Banelings, but there isn't actually a Baneling nest on the field. And, well, VortiX is pushing in. He needs to win this game to stay alive. If he loses, he's going to have to play Frere next, and he's not going to be happy about going down 2-1. But the Broodlords, there's nothing under them to tank. He's going to try to fungal the Marines. He loses one of them. It looks like, oh no, the transfuses are stellar, but a Broodlord still goes down. He needs to hold this together. Another Broodlord falls. He's managed to push on a lot of these forces, but it's only Broodlords versus Marines, and these Marauders tank so many hits. Man, aLive pushing the 4th base at the same time, killing the Queen, denying the 5th base. He is all over the place. Oh my goodness, I was wondering why he had so few units, but he didn't even need them. That drop's going to head over to the 3rd now. There's nothing here to defend. He has the Marauders and Marines here, but he's going to need to bring all of the units over. He doesn't have any Zerglings. He's made a good amount of them. He's switching into the Ultralisks, but will it be in time? There are already Marauders on the field. There are already a ton of Marauders out for aLive. aLive is continuing to produce Marauders, and he's not going to be caught off guard by an Ultralisk tech switch. So now we have aLive starting to shove this creep back a little bit more. The map vision is pretty much gone for VortiX of anything that's happening on aLive's half. And that's pretty significant. He doesn't have any Overlord's position to scout anything. He has this sole Zergling with 2-2. But aLive is going to finish his 3-3 way before the 3-3 for VortiX finishes. He's in an absolutely great position to make a push as soon as that 3-3 finishes and just pretty much just kill VortiX. I mean, what does he have? His Infestor count was greatly diminished. He doesn't actually have a Baneling nest. It's on the way now, but he's going to have to wait for Baneling speed, and without creep, slow Banelings aren't going to do anything. A Zergling run by will head into the natural, though. He's moving in, tries to split. Great supply depot lift timing. Wow, I didn't even see those. That is sexy. Blocking those Zerglings from getting anywhere, and he's going to maybe kill an SCV or 2. Tries to focus down this command center, but no can do. The SCV's there to repair. The bio is there to help. and a drop hits the natural expansion. He's going to take out the Spine Crawler. It's just Corruptors and a Queen. The Zerglings are positioned as well, wants to kill the Queen, but oh, he barely snags it. Nice catch there. Another drop towards the 5th base of VortiX. aLive is everywhere on this map right now. Ultralisks are going to shove this back, but you know, aLive sees his Ultralisks. What's he thinking? Oh, well, I'm already making Marauders. I'm not really, you know, what? Is this supposed to catch me off guard? I have Vikings, I have Marauders, I have Marines, I have Medivacs, I have tanks, I have everything that I need to kill you. You're going to need a ton of Broodlords, Corruptors, and Infestors to break this kind of army. It's just so many Marauders. I have to say, this is a bit ridiculous. Now he's getting out Thors, which are going to do extra well against the Ultralisks. Another Zergling run by. The depot's immediately lifted. Now this Thor may get sniped, but not the biggest loss ever. It's not like he really needs a Thor. He's not playing Risk Mass Mutalisk or anything kind of crazy like that. So he's he actually lowers the depots as he kills the Zerglings. He's like, all right, gonna let my units out. The other Thor is complete. He's been pushing out now towards the center of the map. And it looks like aLive is going to be getting ready to go for the big push. Baneling speed's halfway done. 7 Broodlords on the way. There are a good number of Ultralisks, 7 Ultralisks. This is the army composition that defeated aLive in game number 2. aLive has his tanks now, though. He has Vikings this time around. Will he be able to push through and kill this force of VortiX? The tanks are sieging. We're about to find out right now. Fungal hits all of the Vikings, though. They are going to get completely stuck and engaged. Now the Broodlord's able to get in almost uncontested, but the Ultralisks don't have anything to tank for them. And he's going to take out very quickly, but the Banelings are rolling in. He's going to hit a lot of these Marines without the Baneling speed upgrade, though. Will he be able to get close enough? No! He does not. And the Ultralisks will all fall. The Vikings, Thors, and Marines barely being overrun, though, by these Broodlords. VortiX somehow, someway holds on in this fight. But for how long the reinforcements for aLive, the rest of the Vikings clean up the Broodlords. There's only 3 Ultralisks left. There's 3 tanks for aLive. And I don't quite know. The VortiX has a lot of units in the production tab, but is he going to be able to break through? Another Ultralisk falls. He only has 1 left. His Zergling's running in, getting us around in the siege tanks. He manages to barely clean this up. And, well, I have to say, that was a pretty good hold by VortiX based on the situation. He's still ahead in supply. He managed to keep his 4th and 5th base intact this time. However, the 4th base is now up for aLive. He's moving in to his Raven production. He's got 3 starports. He is ready to go. Battlecruiser. He's ready to do anything. I think more so on the Raven side. He really seems to be favoring the bio. He's still producing the bio. No fusion core in production. So this game is getting crazy. Drop headed towards that 5th base of VortiX. aLive is moving in. He's actually not going to spot that. Drone's going to try to go make a 6th base. Spine Crawler is being started now, but a little bit too late. Not quite in time for this, and a lot of Banelings are being produced by VortiX. These they're going to take out all the Spines, actually. Managed to shut them down from production. And of course, you want to take out the static defense that you can return to drop again later, but there are still 2 Spines here. You only shut down 1 of them. Triple tank production, though. This is going to be a monster army composition for dealing with these Ultralisks. And, well, I mean, at this point, it seems like aLive is just trying, VortiX is just trying to get himself situated. He's had a little too much of these low economy situations in the previous games. This is, man, this game is going the distance. Another supply depot lift up. Will he get these ones in time? Yup. And these Zerglings go nowhere fast. Shut down very, very quickly. I honestly, this game could go either way very, very easily. It's 4 bases right now for aLive versus the 5 of VortiX. He's getting this 6th base up. His hatchery is about to complete. He's in a really great position. The 5th command center is on the way for aLive, but these Zerglings are going to be poised to stop this. There's no burrow from VortiX, which I wish he had. He could use it to get map vision, try to deny scouting a little bit with Banelings maybe. Do something a little, mix it up, because he needs to make something happen. We have a lot of Broodlords on the field now. He's producing even more, moving up to about 8 of them, I think. This is a pretty solid count to have, and this is definitely looking a little bit scary, but aLive is getting ready to make another push. He's now moving in, scans going down, checking for any kind of burrowed units. 3 command centers in production. He's moving towards the base now. There's a lot of Banelings and Ultralisks, and the Broodlords to force the engagement. There's not too many Vikings. The Seeker Missile goes down on the Broodlords, will hit them, but the units start to crash in. The Banelings hit the siege tanks. There's not much left. It's just Marine Marauder versus Ultra Broodlord. The Vikings not going to be able to dig out these Broodlords. They have too many Queen support. The Corruptors take them out, and it looks like VortiX takes another engagement decisively here. Really great catch. Maybe overextending a tiny bit. He's going to lose a couple of Ultralisks to this bio if aLive targets properly. There we go. Transfuses landing. Great play by VortiX. And now I think aLive is in a lot of trouble. You know, the Ravens were nice, but you need to make Vikings with those. This supply depot wall wasn't actually lowered, so his army is actually really, really small. I wonder if he notices this. This is actually huge. He's continuing to produce Marine Marauder. He needs to get out more Vikings. Yes, he's building them. He has some idle SCVs. This is scary, I have to say. And there's a ton of Banelings in the center of the field. There's no creep, though. That's the only thing benefiting aLive right now is there's no creep pretty much anywhere on this map. He did a great job of getting rid of it after it crossed the halfway point. He's lowered that depot. He's bringing his units out. Some of these tanks are still trapped, though. He needs them to hold this, in all honesty. There's not too many Infestors, actually, to deal with the Vikings, so he might be able to hold this off if he can kill the Broodlords. If he can kill the Corruptors. But Contaminate, oh my goodness, the corruption ability. Oh my god, Sour. They're going to take additional damage, and that's really, really difficult. These Vikings are going to be so easy to kill. I feel like this is it. VortiX has aLive on his last leg. He may be able to force this to go to game number 5. Will he be able to bring this to the ace match? The drop hits the top left base. He's going to be able to shut it down, possibly, but these 3/3 Zerglings with Adrenal Glands are going to clean it up, and the Broodlords are still pushing. Not quite an answer left. There's a lot of Vikings now on the field, though. Will this be enough to hold this back? The Banelings are coming in with the Ultralisks. He's moving in. That splash damage is going to hit everything. The Banelings not hitting the bio, but how much bio is there, honestly? He's pushing through. There's not quite enough for aLive. The supply dipping. He's at 120 supply versus 200. He doesn't have anything to deal with this. He has the Vikings to get the Broodlords, but the Ultralisks remain unchallenged, and the Queens are also there to give them their undying support. Tanks on the high ground, but at this point, how much more does VortiX need to do to aLive? The Vikings land, but as we saw in that cinematic, not quite so effective. The Ultralisk is going to move into the main base now. This fourth base is still mining for aLive, but he's under 100 supply now. His production is being parked on top of, and with the Zergling and the Ultralisk reinforcements coming in, I'm not so sure that there's anything left for aLive to do to bring this game back. More Corruptors being made. With all the gas is mined out. There's the GG from aLive. We'll be going into game number 5 here. VortiX taking a decisive victory. aLive had such an early supply lead in some of these engagements, but some really great fights picked by VortiX to take this game. And I have to say that was pretty action packed, very back and forth. But we'll go to a quick break, and we will get you into the next game as soon as the countdown starts.